something on my mind.
So was that idle curiosity, or are you checking up on me too now?
That thought never even crossed my mind.
You should stay in emergency. That's where you belong.
Okay.
Okay. Look, Molly, the electronic employee of the month is here. Should we all bow down?
How strange.
The only thing tougher than growing up was growing up in space. I mean, it's hard enough being a teenager, but with all the spacism and the cyber drugs and the sex. God, sex. I was into everything. I mean, then again, how could I not be? I mean, think about it. My father was a big question mark. My mom skipped out. My sister was always telling me what to do, but I wasn't about to listen. So for the most part, I was on my own, making my own decisions. It's a miracle I made it this far.
All the way to Mercy Point. Why here, Drew? Why now?
I went to this party one night with a girlfriend. We spent like 3-4 hours tripping on crobes. Thought we were living the good life. Until the next morning when I woke up and she didn't. You know how when you're scared and you want to grab hold of something safe, something familiar? Well, that morning I realized I couldn't anymore. Because there wasn't anything left. So I got myself into med school.
No small feat.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess I just felt like medicine was the best way to heal.
Yourself or your patients?
Both.
Hello?
Good morning, Lieutenant. Ooh, you must have had a rough evening if you're just heading out now.
I had a very enjoyable evening, thank you very much.
It was my pleasure.
It certainly was. But we didn't have a chance to talk.
About what?
CJ, I don't want to be the nagging girlfriend. That's not me, and you know it. But for some reason, the less you say about Drew, the more I feel like we need to talk.
I have some time this afternoon. You stopping in?
You bet.
Based on statistical probabilities generated by observational experience and pre-programmed logic parameters, the pharmadiscs were systematically categorized on a paradigm defined by typical dosage and frequency patterns.
Once again, without the tech talk.
I rearranged the meds. And I'd be happy to finish going over the rest of my efficiency improvements later if... Affection. Are you seeing anyone, Doctor?
I beg your pardon?
Dating. Are you involved with anyone?
Well, I wasn't told recently. Why would you ask, Connie?
Just wondering.
Good morning, ladies. Did I hear it right? Demilla is not coming in.
He took a personal day, something about one of his kids.
Everything's all right.
You know Demilla, never a problem.
Ah, well then I guess you're probably too busy to have a bite.
Oh, I've got 20 case files to finish, follow-ups.
Come on, it's nothing fancy. And besides, you know, the cat is away.
Okay, 1 hour, you pay, and nothing dried or...
Powdered, I like it. You're a discerning eater.
I wonder if Dr. Maxwell is seeing anyone.
What have we got? Severe arterial coagulation and vasculatory impaction. Poor guy's more backed up than a rush hour commuter shuttle. Background. Spaceborne names Tanazi, Cooper. Real He-Man. Built solar relays. Most recent exposure to natural G's, a vacation to Io.
That moon's a dung heap. Fellow must like to party.
Got into a bar brawl a few weeks back. Broken bottle clipped his femoral, almost bled to death. Had a synthetic transfusion at a nearby base clinic.
And he's never carried enough real units. He's still on cell regeneration. He was finishing a reflector job when I found him. His body temp was 107. No wonder the synth blood is melting. How many blockages are we talking about here?
I lost count after 50.
Mr. Tanazi's body temp is 103.6. The patient's hemosystem is not flowing properly.
Synthetic cells outnumber O-negative cells 3 to 1.
Artificial blood is clotting and shutting off circulation. Let's get an arterial pressure reading and let's page hematology.
Cancel that page.
I can handle this.
I'm already briefed. Update hip.
Severe coagulation escalating. Clots now forming in limbs, neck, and torso.
Okay, 20 cc's of Gansett and find Dr. Gerardo. He's done this before.
But he's my patient.
Have you ever dealt with the synth blood meltdown, Drew?
Yes. In simulation, but
All right, then I'm taking it from here. I'm sorry, but the real thing's a lot trickier. If you don't catch it right away, his entire body can turn into a big hemorrhage.
that's why I paged hematology.
He's already past that. It's nothing personal, Drew. Just watch and learn. That's my call. 50 megs of tremoline.
Somebody looking for me?
You caught a synth meltdown about 6 months ago, correct?
Blood like butter.
You're in.
He's advanced to level 5. We're gonna have to blast our way through.
I'm afraid that technique is not recognized, Doctor.
We use a sonic isolator to break down the blockage. We know it works on kidney deposits.
Hypothetical odds of surviving the procedure, 22 to 1.
Your call.
Nurse Davies, contact Nazi's family and page Dr. Patani for an emergency consult. Yes, doctor. Bombs away.
I've been with Medical Research Unit for almost 2 years now. We just finished collecting field data from the Erdongs.
Ouch! Sorry. Could you lift your foot onto the table for me, please?
Yeah, sure.
Erdon, huh? That's an uncharted grid. What were you doing out there?
Bioanalysis, experimental stuff. We've been focusing on the comparative physiologies of aliens and humans.
Right. ComScience is kind of an avocation of mine. I'm sure you're familiar with the work of Dr. Victor Warren.
I've heard of it. Dr. Warren is the best in his field. I mean, as the captain of the 423 autoimmune team, his work with Venusian antibodies was groundbreaking. You sound like a fan.
Well, he certainly had quite an influence on my career. Here, quad scan.
Listen, Doctor, I'd love to stay in Gab, but I really have to get back to my unit. Can't you just wrap it, give me some meds?
Yo, hold on.
Orthopedic analysis complete.
According to these scans, your foot is shattered, Mr. Nash. Now, I don't understand why you're not in more pain.
Hey, come on, Doc. You're scaring me.
You're showing signs of hyperdermatologia.
Meaning?
The bone fracture is that of a man 4 times your age, and quite frankly, I think your foot is the least of your problems.
Poor Tanazi.
Almost there. Hip, give me an update.
85% of the coagulation has dissipated. Only 2 clots remain in the lower extremities, but arterial damage is severe.
You begged for a consult?
I didn't, but then I didn't beg for an insult either, so.
Excuse me, Dr. Breslauer. There's an outbound septic transport stalled in Base 6, and they need administrative approval to reroute shuttle traffic.
Look who's pulling latrine, dude.
Oh, and look who's performing an arterial micrograph. Gentlemen, if you'll excuse me.
Ready, handsome?
Humans.
When did your tummy ache start, Kevin? I don't know.
Well, you want to tell me what you ate at school today?
Lunch.
Hippocrates, could you please give this cooperative young man an upper and lower
Kevin
GI?
Martin Ziem. What have you done now?
Mrs. Ziem, I'm Dr. Breslauer. Your son was sent here by his school with complaints of stomach discomfort.
And last week they called me because he stuck his gum in a comm link. Believe me, his stomach will be fine. It's his backside he better worry about.
I'm sure it's nothing terribly serious, but all the same, I'd like to run a few tests and check for foreign bacteria.
Did I hear you say you were a doctor?
I'm a resident, yes.
Well, then with all due respect, I've been a mother a lot longer than you've been practicing medicine. I know my Kevin. There's nothing wrong with him that cleaning his room won't fix. Get dressed.
Would you like me to call Dr. Maxwell?
No. Mrs. Ziem, we really need to be safe about this.
And I need to get back to work, Doctor. Have a nice day.
Rima, thanks for coming.
Sure, what's up?
I've got a patient displaying signs of premature aging. Pulmonary senescence, early glaucoma, rheumatoid arthritis.
How premature?
70 years.
What do you think's causing it?
It's hard to tell. He won't let me run a full set of diagnostics.
So you think he's hiding something?
Yeah, and if anyone can get him to spill his guts, you can.
Mr. Nash! Mr. Nash, wait!
You all right? It's all right. Don't touch me.
He's stroking.
Get a gurney here now!
All right, get something in his head. That's it. Good, all right. That's it. Good. Easy, easy.
Set the overhead spout at 95. Can I get a little music, please?
No music. I require silence. The lights must be lowered. My eyes are far superior to yours. Not that it matters. An infernal waste of time.
How so?
This human abuses his body with poor eating habits, alcohol, and disgusting primitive forms of ink poisoning. Why should either one of us spend hours grafting his arterial system in an effort to save him when he clearly has no interest in saving himself?
Because it's our job. In case you haven't noticed, we've replaced nearly 30 meters of damaged artery already. You should be pleased.
After several hours of looking at this human, I'm appalled.
Maybe we should speak to Mr. Tanazi when he's conscious. At least that way he can defend himself.
If I converse with this patient at all, it will only be to decipher the meaning of forever Mimi.
A stroke in a man his age isn't unheard of, but considering the symptoms, what do you think is causing the aging?
Hopefully this will tell us. Hip, shall we begin?
Mr. Nash is currently unconscious and under neuronavigational control.
Thank you. I'd like a magnified cerebral enhancement with sensitivity markers at the stem and parietal lobe, please.
How does he look?
Oxygenated color, no obvious signs of disease. Minor capillary inflammation on the occipital area, but nothing that would cause the exhibited symptoms.
Primary scan completed. Ancillary scan commenced.
We didn't know, Rebecca.
Hip, split the image and scan for any unexpected cerebral activity.
Second consciousness located.
Second consciousness?
Rate 140 BP is in the red.
What the hell's going on?
Someone doesn't want to put me around in there. He's going to the shop.
Hippocrates, give us a parallel display of the second scan. Oh, my God. This patient isn't alone, doctors. We're looking at a man with two minds.
On the most highly classified data America holds.
Out of the wreckage, something extraordinary was built.
We have a device that can allow us to send one human being back in time 7 days.
Now, one man is changing the past to ensure mankind has a future.
You are time traveling, my friend.
Get ready for the ride of your life. 7 days, Wednesdays on UPN.
Endocytic transplants have been outlawed for 25 years.
On Earth, yes. But there's still indie clinics that'll do the procedure.
Yeah, well, the idea of putting an older consciousness into a younger body in order to prolong life.
There's a demand for it, and as long as people are willing to pay,
still around.
It doesn't make sense. A kid like Nash, his whole life ahead of him, why does he give that up?
Well, could he have been forced? Some endos are volunteers. Kids who are so unhappy with their lives, they're convinced that this is the only alternative to suicide.
I've come across at least a dozen recipients over the years, and I have never seen this kind of rejection before.
If the younger mind is trying to reassert itself, it's possible the older mind is countering by seizing control of the body.
Two souls fighting to survive.
Yeah, well, the question is, who are they? And why has he decided to come back now?
Hi, I'm looking for my father. I got a call and he was in an accident.
And your father's name is?
Tanazi, I'm his son, Dylan.
Mr. Tanazi, I'm Dr. Breslauer. I treated your father when he was admitted.
You're a doctor?
Yeah, been getting a lot of that lately.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean any disrespect.
I understand. Listen, Dylan, your father was injured when the synth blood in his system got exposed to extreme heat. Going back to work on those solar panels was a mistake.
The man doesn't listen. Our doctor told him to take it easy, but he's hell-bent on making my tuition, so...
Well, the synthetic cells melted, and they're blocking his arteries, so he's in surgery right now to replace the damaged vessels with the new ones. Dr. Patong is supervising the procedure.
Where can I find him?
I'll have someone make sure that he finds you, but trust me, he's impossible to miss.
I need some information on your father, Mr. Tanazi. Would you like to follow me to the waiting area?
Sure. You've been very nice. Thank you.
I don't know what you're talking about. We need to know the truth.
I'm telling you the truth.
Did you or did you not undergo an endopsychic transplant?
Who else are we talking to, Mr. Nash?
All right.
Theories of interspecies physiology. Page 260, paragraph 9. Do you remember, Dr. Maxwell?
Somewhere in space lies an eternal secret, the link between man and infinity. If I can, I must do whatever is necessary to uncover that connection. Whatever the cost.
Who wrote that?
The late Dr. Victor Warren.
And I meant every word.
And do you have any siblings, Mr. Tanazi?
Call me Dylan. No, it's just me.
Has there been any history of drug sensitivity or genetic mutation in your family?
Well, we used to think my Aunt Jo wasn't quite right, but Dad says she's just prone to facial hair. No, that's a joke. I was just kidding.
Amusing.
Listen, miss.
Ani.
Ani. My old man, I mean, we've managed to hold it together pretty good, you know, and I just want him to be okay, you know?
I'm sure the doctors are doing everything they can to help him. May I ask you a question, Dylan?
Sure, anything.
Are you seeing anyone?
Excuse me, can I see you for a moment, please, Ani? That question was completely inappropriate.
I'm sorry,
Look, Madam Simba, I don't know if you're malfunctioning or what, but you better get yourself a tune-up fast before something serious happens.
No harm done, really.
Ani, why don't you take that woman to exam 4? I'll finish here.
Simply put, Nash is very much alive. But his conscious mind was silenced by the transplant so that I might occupy his brain and his body with my own.
The entire operation was illegal.
Wrong. Agreements were drawn up. Documents are on file. Legally, this is my body. You're telling us he wanted this. We both agreed it was necessary.
Why?
Shortly before my 111th birthday, I discovered a human chromosome in the bone marrow of an alien fossil. This was the genetic link between species I had been searching for my entire life.
That's when your health began to deteriorate.
I knew I needed more time to authenticate my discovery. Time only a younger body could provide.
You allowed an impressionable college kid just to give up his life to save yours.
For the betterment of science. It had to be done.
Are you the doctors that operated on my father?
Unbelievable. That thing actually has an offspring.
Oh, I'm Dr. Gerardo. Please forgive Dr. Patung here. We're both a little tired from your dad's surgery.
How is he?
He's holding up. We had to give your dad a whole new circulatory system, something the human body doesn't handle very well.
Actually, he doesn't handle himself very well in general, so I wouldn't get my hopes up if I were you.
You don't know anything about my father or everything he's done for me, so watch your damn mouth or I'll hang you up by the tail and rearrange the few teeth you have.
Kids today.
Somebody help us!
Kids' intestines are about to blow. Where do you want them?
Triage, Dr. Breslauer.
Mrs. Thiem, what happened?
You said it was nothing. You said it wasn't serious.
Drew, do you know these people? He came in before. I tried to treat him.
Okay, prep for gravity lavage. Let's move.
Prepping gravity lavage. Patient requires cryotemp assist for circulation.
That will take you to the final edge of the final frontier.
Resistance is futile.
One ship, one crew, one question. Are you a Voyager? Star Trek Voyager, 5 flights a week.
Weeknights at 7 this fall on UPN 20.
I need it below the chest sensory block. Sensory block in.
Lodge is locked and activated.
Okay, Hip, scan the large intestine for bacterial growth.
Scanning indicates a high level of Ferronian antibodies.
That doesn't make sense. The boy's Earthborn. His body can't produce that kind of... Kevin, honey, listen to me. I need to know what you had for lunch. You won't get in trouble, I promise. But it's really important that you tell me, okay?
Downing wanted to try some of my meatloaf.
Did you swap lunches, Kevin? Is Downing an alien? He's got Ferronian algae inside his digestive tract. Give him a distension relaxer and 5 mg of Vicon number 4 atomizer. That should terminate the organisms. And Drew, I'd like to talk to you outside.
Drew.
I wanted to test him, Helen. Ani was there the whole time. Ask her. Check the hospital biz for it.
You should have asked for a consult. Dr. Maxwell and I are both
think it was necessary.
Then you didn't think hard enough.
Look, we're trying to give you every opportunity to make the situation work, but it's not a one-way street. Maybe you should consider a transfer.
I can't do that.
Why not?
Because everything and everyone I care about is here. I don't have anywhere else to go.
Dr. Breslauer, Records just called. They've tracked down Victor Warren's legal files.
Yeah, you clog your arteries, right? Oh, look, Pop, it's the frog in the martini glass I told you about.
Mr. Tanazi.
Dylan, you didn't say he was Shen.
If my race is a problem...
No, please. Forgive my son for his behavior, Doctor. I'm honored that you chose me as a patient.
I beg your pardon?
What were you thinking, picking a fight with a Shen elder? Are you crazy?
Sorry.
Well, you ought to be. You know I have enormous respect for Shen culture. One of my favorite tomes is The Doctrine of Benai. Matak's concept of a universal soul is incredibly inspiring.
No human knows Matak.
Gabat Tanala Leka. Never stop living.
You speak the unspoken.
Well, just a few words, but they mean a lot to me. I was even thinking about getting them tattooed on my chest. Well, somewhere here between the flag and Lulu. Hey, you a big Kundai player?
Back at home, I am council champion.
Oh, how about that? We'll have to play sometime. I mean, I don't have a tail, but I bet I could give you a run for your...
What's that? He was okay. Please run a vital scan and page Dr. Dorado immediately.
No notifications. She never got it.
Dr. Breslauer. Hi. I should introduce myself.
Lieutenant Salzauer.
Seen you around. And I've heard a lot about you. Look, I know this probably isn't the best time, but... We're friends, Kim. Barely. Well, are you sure? CJ and I've talked about you, and I just don't want there to be a problem. You've talked about me? Drew, this doesn't have to be a big deal. Sounds like it already is.
I, Peter Nash, do hereby give Victor Warren full control of my physical being, severing all past relationships and family ties, giving who and what I am to him for the rest of my natural life. As for those of you who are wondering why I'm doing this, Dr. Warren's life, his work, will be admired forever. How many of us can say that we've helped to accomplish something that important?
There. You've all seen the document. Peter Nash gave his life to me and to my work.
Yes, but do you really believe that science has the right to play God, Dr. Warren, to decide who lives, who dies?
There is no argument here. Can't you people understand? I don't know why this has occurred, but you must put Nash's consciousness away for good.
What if Nash wants to surface, to tell us something? What do you think he's trying to say?
Nothing. It's irrelevant. Nash is gone.
You are Nash, Dr. Warren. I have two patients, not just one.
Yes. And if you don't do something soon, we are both going to die.
Mr. Tanazi, there is something we need to discuss.
Doctor, about before...
I made certain assumptions about your father based on his physical appearance. Although I cannot condone the abuse he has inflicted on his body, I admire his willingness to appreciate that which is foreign to him.
Dylan, your father's still bleeding internally. If we go in again, we're afraid the grafts won't hold. I'm sorry, but there's really...
Only one alternative. A procedure that has not yet been fully recognized by the hospital, which has never been performed on a human. However, I am willing to attempt it on your father because of his enormous respect for my people and his apparent faith in Shenik wisdom.
Hang on. We're not talking about your bag of magic rocks here, are we?
The Shenik healing rituals predate human medicine by millions of years.
That doesn't mean they work.
Gabat Tanala Leka. My old man said that before. What does that mean again?
Never stop living.
Guess there's your answer, Doc.
They're both dreaming comfortably. Were we able to find out anything about Nash when he was younger? Government files, medical records? We're still looking.
It's taking too long. Why can't we just isolate Nash's repressed consciousness with the neuroscan, just like we did, and then use the Viz gear to go in there and find out what's on this young man's mind?
It's possible, but legally, I can't participate. I can't allow it, period.
Halen, we may not have any choice.
Look, Rose, I know you want to do what's right, but I'm sorry, I have to draw the line. As long as the hospital's on my watch, I refuse to put it at risk.
Okay. What if I do it without your knowledge?
Do what? Oh, God, here we go.
Dr. Breslauer,
Dr. Maxwell,
just had a little talk with your sister.
I wanted to do a bacterial trace. His mother denied testing.
And I told you that if you needed help, to call Gerardo, Baton, even Halen. You don't have to just call me.
For a stomachache.
Yes, for a stomachache, for anything. This is not about you or your ego, your pride. This is about saving lives. And if you want to make it here, then you'll learn that. Now, I'm on my way to psychosurgery, which means you have to take over for all of my charts. I want you to start at the top of the day and work your way through all of the cases. And just maybe it'll be the best way for you to understand how this place works. Rest, Doctor. Hip, commence neuronavigational control. Peter, can you hear me? Peter, it's all right. Say something. Emily. Mercy Point will continue in a moment.
God gave me a gift. I shovel well.
The bowler.
Let's do some carnage.
The spleen.
What's his power?
Excuse me? Invisible boy.
I'm invisible. Can you see me?
Yes.
Wow.
Maybe you should put some shorts on or something if you want to keep fighting evil today.
Mystery Men. Rated PG-13. Starts Friday, July 30th at theaters everywhere.
Are you? Okay, Pop. You ever wanted to believe in this stuff? Now's the time.
Do you really think this is gonna work?
I've made no promises. But if there's a chance at success, a positive attitude might prove more beneficial.
Right. Sorry.
The Shenik scrolls dictate that the true believer shall be protected, so long as he never questions the four pillars of existence: strength, knowledge, passion, and creation. Separate, the elements are weak. But when held together by a strong dedication to life, the follower can define his own fate.
Kabot. Tanala. Lega. Kabot. Tanala. Lega. Kabot. Tanala. Lega. Kabot.
What do you want from me this time, hmm? What proof do you need before you can do your job?
The same thing we've always wanted, Dr. Warren, the truth.
I'm going to suppress a man's will to live. I want to know what he was living for. I don't know.
Try harder, Doctor.
Nash was alone when he was under my tutelage. Emily is someone that Peter cares about, isn't she? I don't know.
A girlfriend, a wife?
Someone he left behind.
He must have at least mentioned her.
No, I know he isn't a prize-winning scientist or a brilliant explorer, but surely he deserves a second chance.
He didn't even know her.
Put it in.
Peter, it's Margot. I hope you still recognize me after all these years. And even though I told you a long time ago that there were no obligations, there's somebody else in the galaxy who's wondering how you're doing. Peter, I'd like you to meet your daughter, Emily. And I think she has a question she'd like to ask you herself.
Dad, could you come home?
I received this several weeks ago when she finally tracked me down. I imagine it is to blame for Nash's untimely return.
How many lives do you intend to keep on hold?
I don't know what to do. Well, you're a genius, Dr. Warren. I'm sure you'll figure something out.
Kabot. Procedure is completed.
Amen. So
So what happens now, Doctor?
Now he rests. And only he decides when and if he will awaken.
Oh, I'm sorry. I hope I wasn't interrupting.
Who are you?
I'm Dr. Breslauer. I'm just doing rounds.
Ah, yes. I couldn't help but notice you earlier in the corridor. Tell me, do you find any pleasure at all in being young?
Honestly, no. No, I don't. Not lately.
And why is that?
Too many questions. What to do, when to do it, how. Who's gonna get mad at you in the process?
Well, what if you could have all the answers? If you could be your best and not have to learn it all on your own?
Well, now that you put it that way, without the experience, I guess you can't really appreciate life, can you? Was that your granddaughter? Is that why you're asking?
Yes. Yes, I suppose it was.
Yeah?
Good night, Juan Tessa. Mr. Tanazi, what have you seen?
Juan Tessa Prado. A full life, Dr. Baton. But what I haven't finished.
Yep, record, please.
Recording.
Earlier, I spoke with a young resident by the name of Breslau, who opened my eyes to the idea that there is more to life than just our successes. I will never regret the work that I have done. And as long as someone has benefited from my research, then my extended existence has been justified. But Peter Natch was as responsible for those successes as I am. He was my partner. My friend. And so, in exchange for all the years of service that he gave to me, I am returning the only gift I can. Life. Save him, Doctor, so that he can share it with him.
Hey. How you doing? How was your day?
Oh, interesting. I met Drew this afternoon.
Really? Sorry I wasn't there.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. Want to tell me what you guys talked about?
Look, I know having Drew around again has been real hard for you. But I need to know why, and I need to know now.
I thought Drew was it. She was the one. 6 years ago when I was in med school, studying around the clock, she was exactly what I needed. Carefree, we partied, laughed a lot.
Had a great time. But eventually she started having too great a time. Things got a little bit out of control. I guess she thought that I could help her through it, but I couldn't. And I was scared. I didn't want to go down with her, and I was not about to stick around and watch it happen.
So you left?
Yes. And now I'm here, and I've got you and the great beyond, Lieutenant, and that's all I need. I am only interested in the future, not in the past.
Even if the past is present.
Does that answer your question?
Count Spatica, Nala Peter Fozzie.
No, ragazza, Neri, Tossula.
Everything okay in here?
Dr. Serrano, I was just having a most delightful conversation with my new friend.
Friend?
Do you know that he has actually indulged in the consumption of my favorite Shen delicacy?
Oh, nothing tastes better than a living kulask on a dried pukin rind.
Oh.
I'm just gonna have to take your word for that.
You know, Doctor, if you weren't so narrow-minded, you might actually learn quite a bit from this man.
Garak Fuki tea.
Why don't we wait on that blood work, Anna?
Excuse me, nurse.
Yes, Dylan.
Listen, I'm sorry about what happened in the waiting room before. I know you weren't trying to come on to me or anything, because, I mean, well, that wouldn't make any sense. You're a Simbot, right?
Yes, that wouldn't make any sense at all.
Incredible. Peter? Hello. How do you feel? Did he die? So you could live. He was really a decent man. Maybe I can still follow in his footsteps.
Now you're free to go anywhere you'd like.
Even home to see Emily?
I believe they're expecting you. Lounging?
Helen, listen, I know that I shouldn't have let that little boy go, so from now on, I will ask for a consult. I'll do whatever you want.
Med notes are bringing in an isolated incident of Jasperian syndrome. Seizures, fever, nasty purple rash. Interested?
Are you serious?
100-year-old man can be given a second chance to figure things out. Why shouldn't you? I assume, of course, that you'll call if there are any complications.
Absolutely.
Let's go.
Can I ask you something?
Sure.
Why did Ani just ask me if I was seeing anyone?
They come from different worlds.
Live long and prosper.
But they must learn to live together.
I have served on this ship for 5 years and said yes, ma'am, to every one of your orders, but not this time.
Work together.
Hang on!
Fight together.
Go! I'm not leaving without you.
And stay together.
I've lost every family I've ever had.
You have a new family now.
If they hope to reach their final destination, home. Star Trek Voyager. Join the adventure Wednesdays on UPN.
You're watching UPN, the United Paramount Network.
Will TV superstar Jaleel White ever grow up?
Don't walk around in your underpants.
No problem. I didn't wear underpants. Grown-ups, coming this fall to UPN.
The drama continues.
Dr. Maxwell, you're under arrest for the murder of this non-human.
Mercy Point, an all-new episode coming up next on UPN.